Now, recently, Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders was sort of alluded to as a possible VP choice by Hillary Clinton, or so say some, in an interview on Face the Nation. She made some comments that some are saying are suggestive of maybe implying Bernie Sanders could be her vice presidential nominee if she ultimately clinches the nomination, or maybe he could have some other major position in a hypothetical administration. Let's go to a clip from Face the Nation. Let's think about this together. Is she really alluding to Bernie as a possible VP or major administration official, or is this incorrect, what has been reported? Let's take a look.
As I say, I'm 3 million votes ahead of Senator Sanders, nearly 300 pledged delegates ahead of him. He has to make his own mind up, but I was very heartened to hear him say last week that he's going to work 7 days a week to make sure Donald Trump does not become president. And I want to unify the party. I see a great role and opportunity for him and his supporters to be part of that unified party, to move into not just November to win the election against Donald Trump, but to then govern based on the progressive goals that he and I share. We both want to raise the minimum wage.
Yeah, I don't know that she's suggesting she might offer Bernie Sanders the VP slot. I don't know if she's really willing to offer him the VP slot, and I don't know that Bernie Sanders would necessarily accept. And I'm not convinced that it would actually be the best choice. Let's sort of play it out. On the one hand, if you think Bernie Sanders would lose credibility by merely endorsing Hillary Clinton, imagine what you would assume would happen in terms of his credibility if he ran as Hillary Clinton's vice presidential nominee. But let's go back to the numbers. 2/3 of Bernie supporters have already said they'd vote for Hillary if she were the eventual nominee. Then there's that other third who already have said they would not vote for Hillary Clinton if she is the nominee. Are they going to not vote for her twice if Bernie is her running mate? Of course not. Bernie Sanders, as a VP running mate, only has the potential to bring over some of those Bernie supporters who said they would not vote for Hillary Clinton if she were the eventual nominee. The question is, how is it done, right? Every time I talk about this, I get emails from people saying, Bernie or bust, I will never vote for Hillary. I believe that some of you won't. But some of you are going to, when it's November, if it indeed is Trump versus Hillary. I know that many of you who feel like you can't vote for Hillary will. I'm not. Now, if you hear me saying that and you say, David is wrong, David has no idea what I will do in November, I will not vote for Hillary. Maybe you're one of the ones that vote, but that won't. But many of you will vote for Hillary. And having Bernie Sanders as your vice presidential running mate is only going to make that more likely. The bigger question to me is not whether it makes sense for the Democratic primary voters for Hillary Clinton to have Bernie as her running mate. The bigger question is, what does it do to the independent voters in swing states? If you look at Ohio and Florida, swing states where Hillary Clinton won handily, does Hillary plus Bernie do better as a ticket overall in terms of bringing over independent voters, voters who might be moderate but skeptical of Trump, than Hillary plus some Southern or maybe Midwestern Democrat? I don't know the answer to that. I think that there is no doubt that for those voters who have already voted and will vote in the Democratic primary, Bernie as a running mate, totally hypothetical, makes sense mathematically. But if you consider that Hillary Clinton is going to need independents and maybe conservatives who aren't particularly thrilled with Trump in states like Ohio and Florida, and maybe even some others that Trump claims he will put in play, that's really the question that has to be asked and answered with some precision. What will independent voters do if the running mate is Bernie versus a Midwestern or Southern Democrat? I've talked about how people of all ages, but particularly millennials, are owning cars less and participating more in the sharing economy. And one of the more popular options is Zipcar, which gets you a car when you want it, when you need it. They offer all sorts of cars, SUVs, hybrids, whatever you need. It includes insurance and it includes gas. You just pay for the time that you actually use the car. And you can reserve the car online from your smartphone over the phone. Then you unlock it with your Zip card. Each car share member reduces their personal CO2 emissions by between 1,100 and 1,600 pounds per year. For our audience, Zipcar is offering $25 of free driving credit if you sign up at joinzipcar.com/David. Support our show, reduce your carbon emissions and your spending on cars. Sign up at joinzipcar.com/David.